Welcome, social changemakers!
We really wish we could be here in person with you.
But we're coming to you live from Toronto to talk to you about creating change through storytelling. I'm Denai.
And I'm Rima. And I have a question. How many of you believe that youth are the leaders of tomorrow? Denai, you don't?
Not really.
Why?
Because youth are the leaders of today.
Exactly. Youth, such as yourselves, are already taking amazing action to create change all over the world.
Actually, some of the most powerful movements in the world have been created by youth.
We know that, your school knows that, and today we want to make sure that all of you know that.
So that's why we're here, to give you some additional tools to be change makers.
There are lots of ways to create change, but one really effective way is to break stereotypes, challenge assumptions, and break social norms.
And another great way to do that is through storytelling.
As humans, we all have the natural inclination to make assumptions about others.
Yeah, we do that all the time.
For example, tonight, I never would have guessed that you struggle with anxiety, and I'm really glad you shared that with me so that I can be supportive.
Thanks, Rima. And actually, I would have never thought that English was your third language and that you're nervous talking in front of people.
There are so many things that people would never expect about us. And when we share those things, we challenge people to keep an open mind and not prejudge others.
Hey, that kind of reminds me of the iceberg, where we only see 10% above the surface.
That's right. And the other 90% of us, much like an iceberg, is hidden below view. Unless somebody chooses to share it with us, of course.
Most of our identities, like our mental health, socioeconomic status, sexual orientation, and our religion, are things we can't know just by looking at someone.
Even the things that we think are obvious, like race or gender, are all things that aren't always visible.
So by sharing our stories, we're breaking stereotypes and challenging assumptions.
Let's take a look at an example of storytelling.
When I was a kid, I was out with my mom and we were just walking down the street and this woman yelled, "Go back to where you came from." I felt like an outsider in my own neighborhood. I didn't know how to react. I felt very confused because this is where I was born. This was my home. I learned that racism was real.
When I was in grade 7, I remember nervously walking into class on the first day of a new school and some kid yelled out, "Oh great, another fat girl." I felt humiliated. I never wanted to be so invisible in my entire life. I withdrew from everything and everyone that year, and the whole year was terrible. I learned that sticks and stones may break my bones, but words haunt you forever.
I know a lot of difficult coming out stories, and as a teen, I worried what that would be like for me. But I never really had to make an announcement to my family. I just started speaking openly about who I am. I felt accepted and loved and proud of my queerness. I was finally able to be myself. I learned that I'm lucky that my coming out story was met with love and acceptance, but it was still difficult for me. Everyone's coming out story is different, and many are met with pain and rejection, and we need to honor those as well, even though mine broke stereotypes.
I spent a long time looking for a place to belong, and luckily when I got into high school, I discovered the jazz choir. I felt excited and encouraged to share my creative side. I felt comfortable putting my all into every song we did, and I felt like I was reaching my full potential. I learned that through belonging, you can be your best self.
This was just one example, but there are so many ways of telling stories so that you can inspire change.
Knowing that you have power to create change is not enough. What matters is taking action.
And that's what being a social change maker is all about, action.
So if you're a person who cares about inclusion, breaks stereotypes, and is committed to creating change, then we welcome you to be a part of the thousands of youth across Canada who are joining the Social Changemakers movement.
Welcome to the team.
So, shall we do this tonight?
I think so.
Okay, we're gonna do the Social Changemakers cheer, which we would have done if we were there in person today. And we think you're gonna do it with us.
I think so. And Janelle, it is your job to make sure you film it and show us that they actually did it. Okay?
It's pretty simple. It goes like this. When we say social, you say change.
Social. Social. When we say change, you say makers. Change. Change. That was a little weak. I can feel it.
Did it because you know that we can't see you, but we can feel it. So we're gonna do it one more time.
I like that.
Okay, ready? When we say social, you say change.
Social. Social. When we say change, you say makers. Change. Change.